Hi and welcome to this rightmem.co.uk video on Martians. That's right, Martians, not the little green men you've seen in the movies, but the networking concept of Martians, which are used by Juniper, Checkpoint and other manufacturers. Now, first of all, what is a Martian? So it's areas of the address space that either the manufacturer or ourselves have designated as bad. So the device considers that address space as invalid and traffic to that network will be dropped. So like I said, Juniper, for example, they come from the factory preloaded with a list of kind of invalid routes, of Martian routes. And they're things like the Class D and the Class E ranges. So they're either reserved for multicast or they've been reserved for some other kind of official use. So even though they come from the factory, pre-populated, we can still add and remove from that list as we feel fit. It may not meet your business's requirements to have part of that address space in there, or you may need to add some more extra address space into the Martian route table so that traffic gets dropped by default. Okay, so let's look into a couple of the benefits of using Martians. The first of which is security. So by cutting down the address space that's usable, we're minimizing the attack surface of the network. By doing that, what we're essentially saying is the ranges that we've designated as Martians are not going to be entered into the routing table, so you won't be able to get traffic to them. And also, we can prevent spoofing by if we know that a certain range of addresses shouldn't be used, shouldn't be coming from a particular direction to your router, then you can add it as a Martian route, and again, it just won't go anywhere. The traffic will be dropped. And the second one is to prevent misconfiguration. Now, I think this one for me is one of the biggest of the two. So, for example, if you're a service provider and you're using BGP between your customers, and the customer accidentally advertises their internal address space, so their RFC 1918 address space, then the service provider would have to make sure that those addresses don't get entered into their routing table so that they don't get given to other customers, causing routing issues for the other customers. So instead of using route filters, which again is applied per neighbor in BGP anyway, you could accidentally just miss that off, or you could apply it in the wrong direction and it wouldn't catch the routes that you want. By using Martians, instead that's more of a global route filter, which means that even if you forget to add on your BGP route filter, that you've always got that as a fail-safe. The Martian route can be the fail-safe in the routing table that includes those RFC 1918 addresses. Right, so let's dive into a topology. So we've got two routers here, a simple topology where ZAP, the router on the left, is a Juniper router, and POW, the router on the right, is a Cisco router. And they're running OSPF both in area 0 between them, and the LAN subnets from POW are being advertised to ZAP. So all of the work that we're going to do here is on ZAP, which is the Juniper router. You can see we've got our OSPF neighborship there, and if we look at the routing table, then we can see that we've received all the routes from POW, which is the Cisco router on the right-hand side of the topology diagram. Next, we're going to take a look at the Martians for the inet.0 routing table, which is a default IPv4 routing table in Juniper. Here we can see allowed and disallowed Martians. So that is because mostly you'll find disallowed, but 000/0, which is the default route, is allowed because otherwise it would be denied by the Martian below it. So essentially it's an exception. To make sure we have reachability between ZAP and POW, let's ping 1.1.1.1, which we should get a response from. It's in our routing table. And then what we'll plan to do is add 1.1.1.1 to the Martians table and make sure that traffic then gets dropped. Okay, so we do that using set routing options Martians, and then the range that we want to drop with subnet mask at the end, and then we're using one of the keywords from the list I'm going to use exact in this case, but you may want to use one of the others if we're using some bigger ranges. It might make your life a little bit easier. Okay, so we'll commit that, make sure it's all saved, and then using the command show root Martians table inet 0, we can see just the inet 0 Martians, and at the bottom there we can see that ours has been disallowed, so traffic to that prefix will be dropped. See if it's in the routing table, which it should now not be, and you can see at the top there it's missing. So 1.1.1.1/32 is no longer in our routing table. Therefore, if we give that a ping, we should see that again that is now dropped. And there we go, no route to host. And finally, just to show you that it's just as easy to remove a Martian from the list, we'll do just that. So we'll delete routing options Martians, and then we enter our prefix again. And the exact keyword, hit enter, commit that back. Yeah. And then we'll take a little look at the Martians table. And it's now removed from the Martians table. So root table, if we look at the inet 0 root table, we can see that it's back in there again. And we can ping it again, which is amazing. So in this video, we've gone full circle. We've added a root to the Martians table. We've seen what the effect of that is. And then we've removed it again to see that we've restored reachability. So I hope you've enjoyed this video on Martians. Please check out the accompanying article that I have on this topic at writemem.co.uk/Martians. And I also blog there, so a lot of my other content is at writemem.co.uk. I also have my YouTube channel, which is WriteMem TV. So all that's left is for me to thank you for viewing, and I hope to see you again.